today, we are going to work with our second store template, which is the DinaKala theme template. It's one of the good store templates that we can use. We are going to learn how to install it, get familiar with its settings, and see how it works. Well, we have purchased the template and have done half of the installation, meaning we have uploaded it. Now we want to proceed with the installation. As usual, we click on the installer and proceed with the installation. We need to create a database, so we go back to cPanel, MySQL database. Well, we name it Dina, create its table, and then create the user. We must definitely set it to advanced mode so that we can change our user. So we set the password, meaning we also set the username. We create the password and copy it, then paste it here to have it. We've created our user, and the final step is to assign these two, the table and the user, together. We scroll down to the Add User to Database section, and say OK. Connect the user Dina to the table Dina. We add it and then we select the necessary items. Now we come here, paste it and validate it. It has accepted it from us and moved on to the system validation. Here we give it the confirmation, accept its rules and regulations, and move on to the next step. It extracts the file, extracts the zip files within that file so it can proceed with the installation. Well, it asks about the tables, which we confirm, and then it proceeds to install the database. Well, it also imported our database, set the admin account as admin, and when it asks for the password, we say set it from 1 to 9. It says it's weak, but we say it's fine, just do it. Now we go to log in, enter the user and password we defined for it. Well, it needs a valid email, which we don't really need, so we move to the next step to reach the dashboard. It tells us the file is installed and the theme probably needs activation. We go to the Appearance section, Themes, or the Theme License area down here, where it shows us the license that we need to activate. It says, "Sir, your license is not active. You need to activate it." We go to DinaKala, copy the license for the theme we bought for HTML Plus, and paste it in this section to activate it. Well, it activated the license for us and we return to the previous section. Now, we go to the dashboard. Let's first take a look at the appearance of our website to see what it looks like. Well, it has brought a bunch of general data into the dashboard for me, which I don't need to deal with. It has brought the template itself for me, which is the previous version of DinaKala, a digital goods store. Now let's go to the theme settings. Like other templates, it has theme settings that we can review together. Starting from the top, these settings are for Mr. or Ms. logo. You can make changes. We will place the logos again and modify them. We will set our desired logo. Well, for the Retina logo, we will place the logos we have in mind to see what changes are happening on the site. Or it wants a favicon, which we also provide. It asks if you can change the login page logo or change the logo link so it doesn't just go to the home page but to the address we have in mind. So right now we save the logos to see if it has changed the logos or not. It has arranged the logo for us, but guys, The size is the same as the logo size. So for this, we either need to resize our logo with Photoshop ourselves, or we need to use CSS. For each of these, we go to the next settings we have. Well, the font settings, the font it currently has, the font that is active for DinaKala itself is Dana, Iran Sans, Iran Yekan, and so on. The rest, which is also in Persian, Isad, is displayed for us. It has also provided us with an option saying you can even change the font of your dashboard or enable or disable the use of a custom font. It allows us to use the font we prefer, and if you want, you can upload different formats of that font. And your font will change to the new one. It allows us to change the font size for tags, meaning from tag H1 to S6, showing us how we can adjust them and what sizes they should be. For example, our H1 is 28 and our H2 is 21, and the rest is the theme style. We can choose whether the slider should be full width or boxed, and we can define how rounded the corners should be. It also tells us how the hover effect on our product should be. We can decide whether to have a full width or boxed layout. We can define how rounded our corners should be. It also shows the second image for each product, meaning when we have multiple images for our product, it can display the second image when we hover over it, creating a nice appearance for us. Well, our next theme settings involve changing the display of the second image, enabling the color of the address bar on mobile, changing the color of the address bar, and changing the scroll color. The theme's color scheme is provided here, allowing us to decide what color the slider should be, how the active state should look, what color the price should be, whether it should be green or any other desired color for the free price section, or contact us, and soon we can define the color. We can set any color we want. We can change the font size of the product prices, and we can also change the color of the discount area where we plan to offer discounts or special offers. For example, the continue and view buttons, what state each should have, how they should be displayed. We can make changes to the add to cart button. We can change the login button in our header, and similarly our registration. We can change the background of our site, meaning the overall background that exists for the site, or if we want, we can upload an image that we have in mind for it. The image has been changed to glossy, which is why I haven't had a full width display until now. And when I did, things would happen to me. The next setting we have is the dark mode setting, which is the same mode switch option that allows us to view our site in dark mode. This option can also be made available to us, as it says itself, but I've also provided a dark mode for you. You can define here how the dark mode should be, and you can change its activation and deactivation. The logos themselves change in dark mode, and you can adjust them in the settings we provide to it. Now I turn it back on again. Okay, it has general settings like maintenance mode, the same as when the site is under maintenance, for example, and we don't let users come into the site from outside. Our header settings take its position from us, and where the logo should be, how it should appear on mobile, and now the display type of our shopping cart button, our favorites, and the position of our menu. And it can add a loading bar for us, change the mobile menu button, and the breadcrumb settings are up to us. The menu settings allow us to define its columns, specify how it should appear on mobile, determine the background color of this menu, or specify our labels. There are settings for the toolbar button, and if we want to add a toolbar button, we can adjust the settings. The search settings, meaning it adjusts the search mode to be either Ajax or live search, and how the search results should be displayed, their sorting, and all the necessary settings are provided for us. It's exactly like the DinaKala template, and just like the Woodmart template, each section has the capability to be customized. There isn't a section where you would say, I don't have the settings for it now. Settings for the user button and login panel. I would like to inform you that I can edit the message section. This message is the one that I am currently sending to my user. Or if one day I want to make an announcement, conduct a sale, have a festival, or inform about other matters, I can integrate it from this section and specify its icon or display. I can set up my contact information, such as my phone number and email, settings for my header style, like how the colors should be, what the background should look like, and the settings for the wall advertising banner. The next setting we have is the footer settings. Again, in the same way, I specify the number of columns. I can specify its width, site information settings like how many products to display, the number of orders, and the rest. It gives me the option to edit my address section, where I can edit my address from this part, have a phone display, and have a preview link for my email. And now the button styles are available. If I have an app, I can place it in my footer and give my users the option to download that app. Now we have the footer settings, the copyright, and the text that is supposed to be displayed at the end of our site. For the existing social networks, we can change their appearance again. The mobile navigation bar, which itself will display items like return to top, favorites, and others. The social media links that I have on the site can be managed like this Telegram link here. I can set the style and other necessary elements and provide a link to it, whether it's WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other communication method. Now, if I want, I can add several other social media links here. And it has various settings like making the sidebar sticky, adding schema code for me, enabling RSS, and showing the number of views. It also provides options for the user panel and allows me to choose and have a custom 404 page. The appearance includes a sticky back to top button, which I can edit. There's also the admin bar, which I can configure to be active or inactive when I log into the site as an admin. It provides a set of Elementor related settings that I can modify. Then we get to the product settings, which refer to the store archive, meaning the store section that I have. Here it gives me a series of settings like how the columns should be, whether we should have a sidebar or not, the number of products to display, the number of columns. Now, whether the display should be single line on mobile or not, I can define the number of columns. I can set some configurations for WooCommerce, which we don't have any specific ones right now. For instance, whether each product that opens should open in a new window or not, and whether to enable or disable certain features. The shopping cart, Jaxima, that is, we should remove it from this section, and whenever the user wants to add, the page should refresh or go to the shopping cart page. The product score should also be displayed using Ajax products or Ajax products. When I scroll, the rest of the items should also be displayed for me without the page reloading. All these settings have been set for me, and in the most restricted state, I can make changes to it. It also sets the title tag, whether to display it with a certain element, with a div tag, or with an H1, H2, H3, SUM, or H4. The display position is also set in the same way. The product hover button settings, for example, determine what happens when I hover over it, and other things I need to edit in that store, like the child elements and products. Like default thumbnail images, if I add a product and it doesn't have an image, it can automatically add one for me. We reach the stage and settings of the product itself, where I can open any product. It has a page where I can make changes again. For instance, whether it should have a sidebar, we can customize it. We can change the style of the menu page, and we can change the style of the menu category based on our needs. Each one offers a different display for us, and we need to see what options we have considered for it and how it should be displayed for us. Now, like how the state of this page has changed. It provides us with the number of items we want to create more of here. We can place videos for video or podcasts for the product and review the product in our gallery. We can have a product description or display it on mobile. It can turn our out of stock products into black and white. Our purchase process can be an Ajax form. The profit from the purchase opens when we make the product unavailable. We can have an add to wishlist button, and we can choose to have or not have a compare button. The discussion is about sharing the product, allowing us to share our product based on our needs. In this section, we need to see where the product sharing option is placed. It is placed on the right side here. For example, I can share my product to any of the social networks that I have in mind. Now I can define a price chart, meaning I can specify the price ranges that have changed for me, categorize them for this product, update the product from the date and display it to my user. I can mention the number of views of my product, the number of strengths and weaknesses of the product, and I can choose whether to display them or not. I can define options related to variable products. What happens to it, I can specify the discount percentage. Now the sticky bar for purchasing a product means that when I scroll down, this toolbar moves with me so that whenever I want to proceed with a purchase, I can do so. The next setting is the catalog mode that I mentioned to you. We can change our website from a store mode to just a product introduction with brief product descriptions and features. Next to the product image, we can edit it. If we want additional tabs, we can add them, such as weight, dimensions, or other details. For prices, for example, if the product is unavailable, we can write other things like call us instead of unavailable CD according to the store's own policy. We can also display the product as free by writing free instead of 0, or even use the word free itself. It completely depends on us. If a product is downloadable, we can set it for download. We can display more prices or set different prices. If a product has multiple prices, meaning it has features, we can define it to show the price range from or to. We can perform the reference setting which is available for us. We can place the settings related to related products there, such as what the title should be, the total number of products that are supposed to be displayed in related products. We can manage it here, whether to display left and right arrows, repeat the product, or have automatic movement as autoplay. We can also set up pre-sale product settings. We can set up complementary product settings, and we can even place related writings so that for each product we can suggest a series of blogs, shariats, to users for them to see. We can set our site's features to be displayed permanently next to the product, like a guarantee of the best price and excellent support. We can define these and have them displayed across all products. We can also have a tab for additional product information. We can add this if we want to have specific views. We can add as many as we want from this section for our product. And now we can define additional buttons or the link target we have for that additional button. The next setting we have is the Add Product tab. We can add as many tabs as we need here and provide it with a set of data, but the data is fixed, meaning we cannot make it dynamic. If we want to make this data dynamic and add more settings using ACF, it becomes our general product meta, meaning the same post metas that we can set. If we define new data with ACF, DinaKala itself gives me the ability to read it and manage the messages on my product page, determining what messages I want to give to the user. And I can manage these messages to decide what. And it has a WooCommerce settings section, for example, to display the checkout steps on the purchase and payment registration page, whether both should be placed according to product sorting or not, whether we allow the user to increase or decrease the number of products or not, matters related to downloading previous WordPress orders, whether we allow downloading or not, and now the opening of affiliate or external links according to additional fields in the purchase registration. According to the script card we have, we can do this and it improves our appearance. We can add a tracking code to orders that are being shipped, meaning their status changes to being shipped. And now we can define the free shipping message and the ease of free shipping. For example, we can say up to 500,000 tomans. I should also have the keyboard in English. Say up to 500,000 tomans. Activate free shipping for me, the color of our message, and now the tool that shows how much is left to reach 500,000 tomans. These are the settings of my user panel, meaning the place where I, as a user, have a user profile, and can log into it. For each of these, I can make settings. It's a bit different and nicer than the rest of the templates. Now I can, for example, add a profile picture feature here. If I don't have a downloadable product, I can remove my download. I can add a section. For instance, to remove the part where the password and messenger are, allowing the user to set any password they want, which we don't recommend. I can add some fields like first name, last name, and mobile number. I can take the user account details from the user themselves. I can add a slider, place a banner, and include some backlinks or links that I need. If I want to send a message to my user on their dashboard, I can do that. If I want to send a message here, I can tell my user from this section, and I can use more messages and colors that I'm using. I can even define a dark mode which opens up a better experience for the user and allows for customization. I can add this and activate the dark mode for myself. The next setting I have, guys, is my brand. I also have a brand page, so when I go into the products, a product brand section is added for me, where I can now make settings related to that brand. I've written settings for the blog section that I have. We need to find the blog for my app's products now, probably placed in the footer for us. It's not in our footer, and we don't have our magazine in the header here, right? Yes, we don't have it. We can go, guys, to the post section to see our blog or see our blog from the categories section. No, it hasn't come to link here for the user to use, but we can add it for your need. Yum. I'll go to the post section and bring up the blog, both its single page and its category page. I come to the posts, the categories. For example, in the black section, it has 6 blacks. I click on display. I can set the settings related to this blog, like whether it should have a sidebar or not, how many columns it should have, whether the archive should have a title or not, how much storage it should have, whether I want to provide a description for that page or not, and whether it should have automatic loading. This means I don't want to have to click View More here. When I scroll down and reach the bottom, it should automatically load the rest of the blog. I want to add pagination and define pages. I can hide the title of my post and display a thumbnail excerpt. Now I can manage tags, categories, and games. I can also display the author's name and add a share button and set what happens to the post settings on the archive page and how its display style should be. I can change these settings. I can set the author's name link to go to the author's page, meaning the author's page. I need the author's page or not. I can also define related posts in each blog, specifying what happens to them, whether they should be repeated in that display, when a series of items and related posts are supposed to be shown to me or not. Now, for the rest of the settings, if I have a download box, I can define it here, along with items related to comments. There are page settings where I can now, for each page that opens, for example, this one, I can make it white. For example, I come to the Contact Us page, which becomes a product page here. I can make settings so that it has a sidebar, determine how it is displayed, settings related to the pop-up. I can define a new pop-up, now where the pop-up opens or if it is only displayed on the main page, what its size should be, what its content should be, and whether it has an image or not. Social networks. I can place this here, its links, and their management. Custom scripts, if I want to add CSS or JSC, as I mentioned, we don't add from here, but it has left this option for us. It also has a universal skin that connects to its own site, and you can watch its tutorial videos. But for all these settings that we have seen together so far, we can configure all these items. And like other templates, it has also provided us with an import and export option. If I come to the main page, because the template is written with this knowledge, I can edit my page with Elementor and change any of these sections that I want. And if I want to add a new section, I can add it to it. Here I can manage everything from the slideshow, where I can add new images or remove my previous ones. If I want to add a momentary suggestion, I can tell it where to display its products. This template, like other templates, has provided us with a series of widgets. For example, there are widgets related to DinaKala itself, which I can use wherever I need, whether on my homepage or on other pages. If I want to place a banner, offer discounts, or if these discounts can be time limited, I can set them here. I can also place my special offers, display my categories, and show the classifications I have, as well as the latest mobile phone products. The template is fully compatible with Elementor itself, and I can modify any section I need. It even has a section that shows my recent visits, which is another widget created by DinaKala. Here. The footer section is also widget-based, allowing us to apply changes. Here. The rest of the pages are exactly the same. Here. I can also add any product I want to my purchases. It also has a comparison feature. It includes a wish list or favorites, and it provides me with the option to register purchases. I can also increase or decrease the stock quantity of products, which again had changes, and I could set whether the user can add them or not. If I have a discount code, I can apply it and move to the next step, which is the checkout stage. We also learned how to edit those fields and remove any that we didn't need. If we have a payment gateway, we can set it up so the user can proceed with the purchase. We also have a user profile section, that displays all the items and orders available to us. This is essentially how to work with the DinaKala template. I need to be familiar with WooCommerce to manage my products and be able to use the DinaKala theme settings and make changes through Elementor to modify the elements I need and bring my site to the desired state. And all these features are provided to us by WooCommerce and the DinaKala template, including the homepage, Elementor, and theme settings. So guys, we have learned how to use the DinaKala template from its installation to managing its settings, and how to utilize the Elementor and the page builder it offers us to design an online store for ourselves.